Hey, if you've ever felt the sting of someone else's words, the way they just stick with you long after they were said, then this is for you. Today, we're going to talk about healing from bullying, finding your strength again, and really, truly reclaiming the power that has always been yours. Doesn't matter if it happened yesterday or years ago, let's walk through this together. Okay, let's start with what is, without a doubt, the most important truth. If you're carrying the weight of someone else's cruelty, I need you to hear this. You are not broken, and you are absolutely not alone. This right here, this is where the healing begins. So first, we have to understand where the real battle is being fought. It's not just about what happened back then, it's about the echo it left behind. So this first part is all about taking back your inner territory, your own mind. Let's talk about that echo. The bullying itself, it might be over in a few minutes. But that echo? Man, that can play on a loop in your head for years. Those words can morph into this nasty inner critic. And what's worse, it starts to sound like your own voice. But it isn't. Recognizing that voice for what it is, just an echo, not the truth, that's step one. This right here is a huge mental shift. A bully's actions are like a mirror, but it's not reflecting you. It's reflecting them. It's showing you their own insecurities, their own desperate need for some kind of control. In fact, they often target your greatest strengths, the very things that make you, you. The real trike is learning to separate their baggage from your truth. So how do you actually do this? How do you reclaim your mind? Well, it's kind of like a three-step process. First, you've got to recognize that negative thought the second it pops into your head. See it for what it is, an old echo, not a new fact. Second, you challenge it. You fight back with evidence. If the thought is, I'm not good enough, you hit it with, well, actually, I accomplished this today. And third, you replace it. You change the story. This is how you literally rewrite the script that's playing in your head. I love this quote because it's so powerful. Your mind is your territory. You're the gatekeeper. It's time to stop letting those negative voices live there, rent-free. It's time to serve them an eviction notice. Okay, so once you start fortifying your inner world, it's time to look outward. The next step is all about finding your voice and breaking the cycle of silence that lets bullying thrive in the first place. Bullying can be a real chameleon. In high school, it might be really obvious, in-your-face stuff. But it can change in college. It can get way more subtle, like being intentionally excluded or manipulation, or, of course, cyberbullying. The methods might change, but the pain is exactly the same. And that's why knowing how and when to speak up is so critical. You are not in this fight alone, not even close. Schools have people and systems designed to help you. It could be a teacher you trust, a guidance counselor, or if you're in college, your RA. These folks are your allies. Campus counseling centers are there for confidential support. And for more serious stuff, the Title IX office is there to protect your rights. Reaching out isn't weak, it's you taking your power back. So we've talked about the internal work and the external action, but this really brings us to the most important question of all, doesn't it? How do you move from just dealing with what happened to actually proactively building the future you want? And the answer to that question is community. Healing isn't just about getting away from the bad stuff. It's about moving toward the good stuff. It's about finding your people and tapping into the amazing power of connection. When you've been hurt, your first instinct is probably to pull away, right? To build up walls to protect yourself. That is a totally natural response. But here's the paradox. Isolation is what lets the pain grow. The true antidote, the real medicine, is connection. Surrounding yourself with people who see you, who value you. That is the most powerful path to recovery. Finding your community doesn't have to be some huge, overwhelming task. It really just starts with small steps. Think about joining a club you're curious about, or trying out for a low-key sport. Maybe volunteer for a cause you care about. The goal is simple. Just put yourself in places where you can connect with people over things you both enjoy. Find the people who don't just put up with you, but who celebrate you. So, what does this whole journey of healing really look like in the end? Well, it's not some finish line you cross. It's a path. It's a process you walk, one day at a time. And please, if you take away one thing, let it be this. Healing is not a straight line. There are going to be days where you feel invincible, like you're on top of the world. And then there will be days when an old wound stings again. That's okay. That's normal. It doesn't mean you're failing or going backward. It just means you're human. What matters is that you just keep going. And on those days when things just feel too heavy, please know that immediate professional help is always there. The number is 988. It's the National Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. You can call or text anytime, 24/7, and you'll be connected with someone who is ready to listen and support you. You never, ever have to go through the darkest moments by yourself. Your past does not get to write your future. You do. You hold the pen. So the final question is really for you. After everything we've gone over today, what is one small step you can take to start writing your own story? Because the power to do it, it's been in your hands the whole time.